York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Nick of Time Show here, giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to celebrate. It was an ugly win, but the gunshots are still going off. The Knicks beat the Rockets at 106-99, led by Mr. Fourth Quarter himself. I'm calling him Mr. Fourth Quarter from now on because it seems like he's just turning on the fourth quarter of these last few games. Alec Burks gives you 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Career high, 6 threes and doing a lot of his damage in the fourth quarter. Also, we have Julius Randle has a wonky game. 4 of 15 from the field, shot 26%, but gives you 16 points, went to the free throw line a lot, gave you 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. I'll hit the gun for Jule, even though it was a little bit of a weird game. And also, I'll give you some Emmanuel quickly today with 13 points. And a few clutch baskets at 3-point line. And I know Raw talked about it earlier. We lost 3-rebound battle. And we overcame a slow first quarter of only scoring 13 points. But listen, man, we pulled through somehow. Some way we got together, scored 34 points in the second quarter. And the fourth quarter, we ended up scoring another 34 to seal the game. Before we even get into the details of this game, let me introduce my guy from the YouTube channel across the street. I call him the Raw Metaphor. It is the Raw Hebrew Remnant. What's going on, Raw?
What's up, my brother? What's up, man? How you doing? I'm glad to be here. Yeah. And I'm warning Knicks Nation right now. My other right-hand man, Fritz, is down today. So I had to do a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. I'm doing 6 jobs today. So managing the phone calls and talk to you guys in Knicks Nation. But shout out to my guy, Fritz. Got the Jamaican hat on today.
Yeah. That's why I took a little bit longer to set up than usual. But we here, man. We here to still celebrate this awkward win on Knicks Nation. First and foremost, I'm gonna start with the good, man. I'm gonna start with Evan Fournier and Alec Burks. Evan Fournier has been slumping raw. You've been talking about Evan is due for a good game for, the last week and a half. Finally, Evan gives you 19 points on the day. He hits a few clutch threes, and he hits like a running Baker at the end of the fourth quarter. What did you see from Evan, and why do you think he eventually came out that slump today out of all days?
He's a rhythm guy. And in the first quarter, he hit 2 threes, and that's what got him going. So I was, you could see it from the start. He's that type of player. He's a rhythm guy. So He hit 3 off a fast break opportunity. He knocked down the 3, and then Randle set a pick for him, and he knocked down the 3 in the first quarter. And he was pretty much in rhythm after that.
Yeah, I gotta agree. It's funny. All of our guys are kind of rhythm guys, which is why it's really important that we share the ball consistently every play, and it didn't really happen that well in the first quarter, but you start to see happen in the second quarter, and I think that's when you started to see Evan kind of catch fire and hitting those dribble handoffs that he's been missing the whole time. And also when he's starting to get that stuff going, he's starting to set up Randle for some easy buckets. Now Randle didn't score a lot, but he was able to kind of just fall away from the 3-point shots because he shot way too many threes the last game. I think he only shot one 2-pointer the game before. But he was able to get to the rim a lot because of Evan Fournier passing him the ball and pick and rolls, and he's able to get the buckets he was able to get. I think he had like a layup and a couple of threes. A lot of it was because he was starting to get some easy baskets for Randle instead of some isolation stuff. And we actually saw Evan Fournier in the fourth quarter for the third time this season.
Yeah, but you ain't see him on the sideline. He was heated, man.
He was heated. I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
He was mad. He had pulled his mask down, and he was mad. I was like, and then Kemba was calming him down right next to him, and I was like, I know what it was. He knew that he had been finally in the rhythm, and he wanted to get in the fourth quarter. Tom's been sitting him and Kemba rightly in the fourth quarter,
right?
But now today he found his rhythm. He wanted to get in, and then Tom did put him in the game.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He put him in the game, and it's funny because when he did get in the game, I felt like
Two air balls?
Huh?
You mean the 2 air balls?
Yeah, it was like he did all the pouting, and then he shot an air ball. It was kind of like, okay, but I get it though. I get it. Like, but it's all about shot selection. The thing is, when you don't get a shot sometimes, and you're finally getting that shot to prove yourself, sometimes you overpress and you do too much because you're afraid that you'll be right back to the bench next game. And I feel like
that first air ball looked like a heat check. Like it looked like a heat check shot.
Right.
That second one, they set him up in the corner. I think it was Julius set him up perfectly in the corner. That was one he should have knocked down. That was an air. I was like, dang, 2 air balls, bro.
Yeah,
really?
2 air balls. 2 air balls is crazy. But like the heat check one was the one that scratched my head the first time.
Yeah, that's why you throw it up. But to me, that was the heat check one. If he'd have knocked that down, you'd have seen him, go off. But that's what I think he threw that up there because he had just come off the bench. He's like, man, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go up. And so he threw the ball up there, but nah.
Yeah, he was like,
and
I'm
it was
the
like
man.
It was within the first 5 seconds of the shot clock. He threw that up there.
Yeah, exactly. And then you had Randle, and I know Randle has been shooting well, but Tom's philosophy, just shoot. Not even Tom's philosophy, basketball philosophy. When there's 2 on the ball, move the ball. There was 2 on Evan, and Randle was wide open.
In the first quarter, this Negro had 3 dudes on him, and he had 2 dudes at the 3-point line. He holds the basketball until the last second. Then he passes it, and it was a 24-second violation. He had 3 men on him. Not 2, 3.
Yeah. Bruh. The first unit, and you know what? It's a 5 o'clock game, and this is usually the excuse. Oh, it's a 5 o'clock game.
Oh, bullcrap, man.
Exactly, bro. At this point, you're through giving the first unit the benefit of the doubt.
Nah, forget it, man. They just think that's all there is to it.
Exactly.
The Knicks are the only team in the NBA where their starters come off the bench and their bench players are starters. It's the only team in the NBA like that.
Exactly. And thankfully, we got the win today. I was a little bit nervous because I do feel like we took a little bit of a step back in that first quarter. And also, Raw, the game before, I was talking about the third quarter of Doom, right? Before the third quarter of Doom, there's also another Doom. There's like a second quarter of Doom also that people don't realize.
Yeah, it's when the first unit comes in.
Right, exactly. People been talking about the third quarter of Zoom for the last few games, and I mentioned this the show before. Right when the first unit gets back in, they'll start to get on an offensive flow, and they'll start hitting shots, and they'll start feeling themselves like, "Oh, we hitting shots!" And as soon as they start hitting shots,
yeah, he takes them out.
They don't play defense anymore, and like whatever opposing team we're playing starts to make a comeback, and it seems to have happened
don't matter
like
what
every
team
game.
it is. It don't matter what team it is, too. It don't matter what team it is.
It don't matter what team it is.
No, but you know what really I was concerned, my first area of concern, the first time I was really concerned, generally speaking, like for this last, at least I think 3 games, he has played the first unit exactly 7 minutes. So Kemba comes out at 7 minutes, and then like D Rose will come in, right? Mm-hmm. But today he played Kemba in the first unit deep into the first quarter. Like, I think he didn't sub anybody until like 2 minutes left in the first quarter, 3 minutes left in the first quarter. And I was like, why he wait so long? I mean, it's like he was asking for trouble. And that's when, we weren't doing anything in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think the only reason he did that role was because despite playing bad offensively, there was a moment where we were kind of in a lead. And I think that's the only reason why he hesitated. And of course that lead dissipated and we only scored 13 points and they scored 21.
Right. By the time when he did sub him out, we was down. I was just like, because the reason I didn't like that is because, okay, like you're kind of training the team for the minutes they're getting, right? So Kemba should know he's coming out at 7 minutes, right? He's coming out at 7 minutes. But this time he kept him in an extra 2 minutes. That throws off D Rose, who's ready to come in at 5 minutes, right?
Right.
So now you just threw everybody off because you decided to, and they were just thinking up the joint. I mean, what are you doing? I was like, and Randall's driving me crazy. I'm looking up and I'm like saying, well, this guy had 9 assists. Where did he get 9 assists from? I didn't even see that. I mean, I saw the 4 of 15 shooting. I saw that.
Right.
And he got some rebounds. 9 assists. Like, where the heck did he get 9 assists? I don't know.
Well,
but he's driving me crazy, man.
Yeah, he's definitely driving. Well, a lot of those assists came from the dribble handoff to Evan Fournier. He got a lot of assists that way.
Right.
And
some stuff to AB as well.
Exactly, and some stuff to AB as well. And in the fourth quarter, I will say this: as bad as Randle's been playing, I do appreciate that he's not forcing it in the fourth quarter.
Oh my God, yes.
And it's actually been making these games a lot closer and a lot more bearable.
But let me ask you something, JL. When he comes in the fourth, isn't that what's on your mind? Is he going to force stuff?
Yo, it's scary. It's scary.
It's like, damn it. How many times is he going to turn the ball over?
Man, it's scary, bro. It is. It's so backwards, and I'm nervous when the first unit comes in, especially when I see Obi flying around and Obi's getting subbed out for Randle, and I'm just like, okay.
When I saw Randle stand up off that bench, I was like, no, please no.
It's scary hours right now. He has not been the guy that we saw last year. That we had. He hasn't.
All right, now in all fairness, this is just what I see from last. Let me put it that way. I'm not saying I'm correct, but last year to begin the season, even in preseason, he wasn't forcing anything.
Right.
And that's why I was shocked about it was like one of the preseason games last year against Cleveland. I noticed. I said he didn't force anything. He was passing out of double teams.
Yeah.
He wasn't looking for himself first. I was shocked when I saw that. And then as the season went on, and they came the unit came together as a flow. Now he was like so connected, so into it. Him and Bullock had such a connection. But see, this year he's starting off like he did the year before last.
Yeah,
and that's a problem. That's a problem.
Nah, yeah, and you kind of hear the players talking about it too, and you're starting to hear other analysts from the Knicks talk about how they started off to a slow start last year, and to let them get into it because they have new starters and it's going to take time. So it just seems like this, and you know what? And we're off to a better start this year as far as the win column, but it just looks.
It just feels bad, though. It just feels like a foreboding. You know what I'm saying? It's a foreboding. Like you said, I can see this collapsing. But the thing is that I do notice that when usually in our 9 wins, Randle is not the high scorer. And that's good. I'm saying it's showing that he's not forcing as much.
Right.
And so he came in the game today, and you never know what you're going to get from him because he's such a wild horse. But he was looking for AB. He was looking for AB. And I'm glad D Rose had a terrible game today.
He's had a couple of games.
I'm like, what's up with D Rose, man? I'm hoping that coming back to Chicago tomorrow will snap him out of it. But man, I was like, what happened to D Rose? And Tom noticed it and took him out, right? And had Burks and Quickly in there, which was a good move. That was an excellent move. I was like, okay, but why you got to keep taking out Obi, man? I thought when I saw Randle stand up, I said, oh, he must be taking out Noel because he's gonna leave Obi in the game, right?
No. No, he's not doing that. He's bringing back Randle. But you're right, Ro. He has Rose has been off the last few games. Especially the turnovers. Rose is kind of having bad turnovers in key moments of the game where it seems like the game momentum is switching in our direction. But kudos to the coach. He put in Evan Fournier back in. And he moved Alec Burks once again to the point guard spot. And once again, it paid off. Alec Burks' defense, I've been paying homage to Alec Burks' defense all season long. And he's been really diligently fighting over 2 screens of play. If you watch this game,
his defense has improved tremendously. It really has. His defense has really improved. And maybe I don't know if it's because he's playing. I don't know if it's because he's playing next to Fournier and Kemba, but his defense just looks a lot better this year.
It's not. I know by comparison, it's just even crazier.
Saying, but it looks a lot better this year. It really does. And so does Quickly, and so does Obi. All the 3 of them defenses have gotten better. When they come on the floor, you start seeing some defense. Man.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a part of the game where DJ Augustine started to go off, and then Quickly got a key stop in the fourth quarter. And he was able to push that for a fast break. And I was like, let's go Quickly. People.
And one thing I'm noticing during this whole, say last week at least, we're having trouble getting 3 stops in a row.
Yeah.
We're just having trouble doing it, man. I think we got it a couple of times tonight, but, man, it was hard to come by. I'm like, we having trouble getting 3 stops against the Rockets. What we going to do when we playing Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball.
Right. Like the stops that we were getting were probably more in the first quarter when we wasn't capitalizing on them. Because if we were to get stops raw against any team, this would be the team, because this is the team that is like dead last in turnovers.
Yeah, but the reason we got stops in the first quarter is the Rockets are throwing the ball all over the place. It wasn't us doing anything. They were just playing like a young team, So I was like, that's why we should have been running them out the gym. They're gonna do stuff like that, but.
Absolutely,
dang, man.
Absolutely.
I'm not happy. I mean, I'm like, we won the game, but I don't feel that joy I get when the Knicks win, because I'm concerned because we're playing Chicago tomorrow and we are not ready. We're not ready. If he trots out that same fire, and I thought Kemba would sit one of these games, and I figured he would sit him in the Rockets game and play him the Chicago game since that's the bigger game. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know. It's a back-to-back. I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, I agree with you, Raw. Like, I'm nervous too. I know the only thing that kind of gives me some solace, mental solace, is they know we beat them. We know we can beat them because we beat them before, right? So I do feel like if we move the ball, not like today, not the first game like today. There was like the first game after the loss.
I can't remember when's the last time.
Like there was the
last time they moved the ball.
2 games ago, Raw. 2 games ago, when everybody was all disheveled because the second unit was playing better than the first unit, and they came out in that first quarter and they moved the ball brilliantly. And I felt, even though the shots weren't falling, I felt like this is the way you should be moving the ball. The entire game.
Who was that? The game after the Pacer game?
I think so. I think it was the game after the Pacer.
The Orlando game?
Nah, was it the Orlando game? No.
What's he talking about? Because it was the Pacers, then Orlando.
Okay, it was the Pacer game. I think it was the Pacer game. The Knicks played the Pacers, and I felt like we moved the ball. The first unit moved the ball way better in that first quarter than they have all year. And I would like to see some of that. And even though the shots weren't falling, I just felt like we kind of have to play that way. And if we keep playing it that way and that consistency for the whole game, the shots will eventually fall, because these guys are shot make. Like, these guys can make shots. I've seen RJ hit 41% from the three. I've seen Evan Fournier have a career year from 3 last season, and Julius Randle. So I feel like if we do that consistently, I think they'll get out of their own way and they'll stop overthinking shots and thinking it's like, oh, this is a do or die shot. If I don't make it, then everything's gonna collapse. I do feel like that's kind of what's been happening with, part of it anyway. When they actually move the ball, they're in their own mind and they're in their own way sometimes.
Well, I mean, honestly, there's spurts during every game, just spurts, where they move the basketball and they'll get a basket. And it's not just a basket, it's an easy basket.
Right.
But they don't do it every time they come out on the floor. Now, sometimes it's Julius hogging the ball. Sometimes it's one of them jacking up a 3. But when they do, like one time tonight, they came out of a timeout and they moved the ball beautifully, and Evan Fournier ended up with an open 3, which he knocked down. That's, they do that, every so often. But for some reason, it's not consistent. It's just not consistent.
Yeah, that's not consistent, and it's like we're gonna need faster whistles from moving forward. And I commend Tom, because I do feel like this is the week where he's been coaching differently. Like I do feel like I've been more on board with his rotations over the last week than I have been over the last 3 weeks. And now it's just all up to the players. It's just all up to the players to respond.
I mean, to me, the biggest thing that he has done is keep Kemba on the bench in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And for the most part, Fournier as well, until tonight where Fournier was shooting. But that's the biggest thing he has done, to keep them on the bench in the fourth quarter. I don't really see much from the time he said he had added some plays last week. I don't see a lot of change. Like we said, if I was expecting them to come out of last weekend on Monday, like you said in the beginning they were moving the basketball.
Right.
But then they stopped.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was expecting that to be a staple going forward. And it hasn't been. And I want to tell you, the reason I feel like it's not working is, I want to tell you the honest truth. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna let the people in the chat see if they agree with me or not. The bottom line is Kemba and Julius don't mix. That's the bottom line. That they don't mix. somebody put up a stat this week where when you have Julia and Kemba, it's negative. When it's Julius and no Kemba, it's positive.
Right,
Offensive rating and defensive rating are better. And then they did it with each player. Kemba with RJ, negative. RJ without Kemba, positive. So I'm just saying Kemba and Julius are both used to being number one options. It doesn't work. That's what I'm saying. It's just it doesn't work. I think if you're going to play Kemba, put him on the second unit. Put him on the second unit and let's see what he does there. Start IQ or AB, one of them. But you can't. Kemba and Julius do not work together. I'm just telling you. They're being very nice about it, but they don't play well together, man. I'm just, they just don't.
I don't know if I'm ready to concede that, man. I don't know if I'm ready to. I don't know if I'm ready to concede that because
what I'm seeing. That's all. That's what I'm
no,
saying.
I understand. Like I understand exactly what the numbers say, but it's like, do we want to go back to having Julius being the only guy making plays?
No. I don't think that's it. I think what you have to do is go back to Julius receiving the ball on the pinch post and then everything working around him. I think that'll work because to me he'll get back in the flow quicker. Especially if he decides not to force anything.
Right.
So because if you give him an AB or an IQ, he is going to know they can score. They're just going to be as capable of scoring as anybody. So I think you got to, if you're going to use him as the number one option, and that's my second problem. If you're going to use Julius Randle as the number one option, you have to put him in the best position to be successful. Dribbling the ball up and standing on the three-point line is not it. He's got to get the ball on the pinch post and work out of that pinch post. And last year, at the end of the day, he was doing that brilliantly.
Yeah.
And then once he gets in the flow like that, everything else starts to flow.
I agree with you though, but you know what else, Raw? It's like the way the Knicks offense runs through. There's like 2-man games that happen on the court, and it's usually Fournier and Randle.
That's right.
Who has kind of like a 2-man game.
And half the time they running into each other.
Right. But we don't really see.
They two lovers that can't get it together.
Right. But we don't really see like a Kemba and Randle that much. Will we see it?
Because Kemba is used to being the number one option, and he's saying, "Okay, Julius, I'm gonna give it to you." And if he's not the number one option, Kemba's not moving without the ball. He's not doing anything. Where you if you're used to not being the number one option, you're gonna move a little bit.
And you know
but
what?
He stands there.
You know what? I think you know what, Ro, now that I'm thinking about it, the moving without the ball thing might be the reason why that pairing might not be as good as it should be on paper.
That's right. I'm telling you, they stand around watching each other, man.
Right.
I mean, it stops everything, and they're just not working well together. Because at this stage in Kemba's career, he is not used to playing anything but the number one option.
No, you're right about that.
He can't do that. And so, to me, AB and IQ, they're used to playing the second option. They've been coming into the league doing that, a third option even. So you give Julius, all right, I can understand the fans, and I'm frustrated with Julius too, but I also got to be honest and fair about it and say he's not getting the ball in the best positions for him to be successful as the number one option. And to me, the best position is where they're really playing the triangle, and they put him out there on the pinch post, and you let him work. And then on the opposite side, when D Rose is in the game, you're looking for a pick and roll situation. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you pick your poison.
Right. And then with D Rose, like, it's funny because when D Rose started, I do feel like I like the flow of the first unit better when D Rose started. But of course, the second unit lacks. But when D Rose was playing with Julius today, you saw like a little pick and roll between him and Julius Randle. And I'm like, okay, I want to see that more. I want to see more of Julius Randle not having to work so hard for easy buckets.
Right. That's right.
But you know what? Also, the off-ball movement, now that I'm thinking about it, Raw, because I was watching IQ today, and I'm like, man, like I'm thinking, like, why does it seem like when IQ comes in the game, even when he's not scoring, it just seems like everything is just sped up and more frantic, and the defense is on his heels.
You know what he does?
It's the movement.
He moves without the ball.
It's the movement.
He moves without the ball.
It's the movement.
He doesn't just stand around. He's moving without the ball. He's constant movement.
It's
Him
constant
and
movement.
Obi are both constant movement.
Right. And
that's why that unit looks so good on the second unit.
Exactly. And exactly what I was getting at, Raw. So I think you might be on to something because with the improved, and the playmaking for quickly is coming along. He had like one bonehead pass, but he's been, especially when Obi is around. He
played a good game tonight. The thing is that Tom is trying his best to fit Kemba and Julius together.
Right.
He's definitely not going to sit Julius, and he's not putting Julius Randle on the second unit. This is Julius's team. But he's going to have to make a decision. Kemba is not fitting with Julius. They cannot play well together. And you cannot – and the thing is, what I'd like to see is I'd really like to see IQ start or Alec Burks start and then bring our Dukes McBride or Grimes into the second unit and just sit Kemba, and we'll be better. But that's not going to happen. So, okay, so now you got to put Kemba on the second unit. And if you do that, that means you have to put D Rose in the first unit because Kemba and D Rose can't be on the floor at the same time.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you definitely right about the legs, too. You definitely right about the legs, too, Raw, because even when, like, I've said this a few games, too. There's been times where I feel like the first unit looks tired, even when they're reinserted in the game in the second quarter after a rest. Like they don't seem to sustain energy on both sides of the floor for long periods of time. They only could seem to do it in like a 5-minute spurt before one end offense or defense kind of loses the rope when it comes to the energy level.
And you know what that's a sign of? A second unit. Seriously, that's what you do for the second unit, right?
Right.
The second unit is supposed to give you that 5-minute spurt.
Exactly.
And these cats are doing it on the first unit.
Exactly. Yeah. Yo, hold on. And hold on. Gunshots to everybody who's rocking the KOT show. If you're liking the show so far, please hit that like and subscribe button and share with your fellow Knicks fans. If you want to call in, you can see the number right there to call in. It's 319-527-6241. There is no Fritz today. So it's just me kind of handling things. And I see somebody is next in line. I can't tell who you are right now, but I'm going to click you in. But before I click you in, sir, get ready. Shout out to everybody rocking in the chat. Shout out to Kareem Grant. Shout out to Still Knicks fans, Rich Jim, Craig McQueen, D Nice, my real fake cousin Winston Ellis. Yep. Still Knicks fans. Herbie Mack, Naruto Goku says he's like my shirt. Thank you. My guy, tell him Alejandro. Shout out to my guy, tell him Alejandro. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. Okay. All right. Caller, I'm about to patch you in. You gotta let us know what your name is and where you're from, and tell us what your point is. All right.
Yo, fellas, how you doing?
What's going on?
Yo, this is Reed from Flatbush once again.
What up, Reed?
All right, this game, I caught it at the last end because I was keeping up because I was doing my daily. This is an early game, so you know what time it is.
Yeah.
That last 8 minutes in the fourth quarter was terrible. I didn't like it at all. And I'm listening to both of you, Uncle Raw, and you talk about we can't have Julius bringing up the ball and catching the ball above the 3-point line. He has to operate from the foul line in. That's how he will get his buckets. Mm-hmm. That's how he will manipulate the opponents. That's how he will have much success in the half-court game. Julius is not smart enough, like Uncle Raw will always say, to play above the 3-point line.
Nope. Yeah, that's right. No, he's not.
And that's what it is. Tom has a lot of work to do to make sure that the offense doesn't really predicate on Julius Randle because there's a lack of ability to think the game out.
Yeah.
And that's what we're facing right now. We're facing the fact that Julius is a star, but he's a limited star. And we're facing the fact that we're dealing with a declining Kemba Walker. Now, what we need to do and start to do move forward is embracing the young talent.
Yeah.
And we have no choice but to do that. The reason why, because they understand it, they play defense, and they will give their all. Right now, the first unit is killing the whole entire momentum of the team. because we had to depend on the second unit to do what the first unit is not doing, plus provide the additional offense and defense to get us back in the game. And that's not how you play basketball. I'm sorry. That's not how you do it.
Yeah.
But, you know what, bro? And he's hitting on a very good point. Let me let him finish, though. He hit on a very good point.
No, I'm fine, Uncle Raw. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that, okay, traditionally when you see star NBA players, star athletes in general, but NBA players too, this happened to Carmelo. The last person to know that you're no longer what you were is the player himself. Everybody else will see it until the player doesn't see it. With Melo's last season or two with the Knicks, he wasn't the same Melo that we had first got from Denver.
Nope.
He was definitely lost a step. So when he went to Oklahoma City, somebody asked him and said, "So you're going to play on the second unit?" And he started laughing like they was not serious. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Why is he laughing? He needs to come off the bench."
Right.
But he was the last person to understand he was no longer a number one option.
They want me coming off the bench, P. I remember that.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah, you off the bench. And I was like, you need to come off the bench. But Kemba is now thinking he's thinking I'm still number one option. I'm just deferring to Julius for a little bit. He's not a number one option. But
I don't even think it's Kemba. I think it's Kemba seems to be smiling on the bench. It's just the coach. You know, the coach has to try. The coach has to do his due diligence and try stuff. Yeah. And now he's figuring it out, and that's why Kemba's on the fourth quarter, not playing. Like Evan Fournier, you saw it is. Kemba's trying to calm Evan Fournier down. Kemba's not throwing tantrums on the bench.
Yeah, because Fournier was heated, man. I don't know who else saw, but he put his mask down and he was mad, and Kemba was like, "Yo, calm down." It's gonna be all right. And then a few minutes later, he came in the game. You know,
the coaches have a lot of work to do because last year's team is not this year's team. Last year's team was a defensive. They're very strong on a defensive end. And this year's team have to get accustomed to the concept of defense first.
Yeah.
You can't have that if everybody could just waltz right into the paint. That's not gonna work.
That's right.
It's not gonna work.
This has to be a transition. This might have to be like the transition year, Raw.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
this might have to be the transition year where you're like, all right, IQ's taking a step, OB's taking a step.
Look, man, they sat Deuce McBride down for 15 games, man. You put him in the game. He's cold. He has not played a full game. First night in the G League, 25-9.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
25-9, right off the bench.
Yeah, and it's the G League. It's the G League, so you don't want to overstate it.
He hasn't played at all.
But you listen. You gotta take the good with the bad. You're supposed to do that at the G League if you're that nice, and he did it. The next step is to do it in the NBA. And
you gotta get a chance.
Yeah, I do like the type of shots he was hitting.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with you but Deuce got it. He understands it because he thinks the game. He let the coach help him to enhance his thought process while he is in the game, and he really acts out what needs to be done during the game. And Deuce, I don't know what it is with this team. We have some kind of like facade of taking on the hometown player that is like declining. I don't know what it is. That's our Achilles heels, right? For as we speak right now. Mm-hmm. But we gotta get away from that. We gotta stop doing that. Kemba, I respect him. He put so much work into his game and to get recognized. But Kemba is not the Kemba of 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not there no more.
That's yeah.
Right. And you got to give him spotty minutes. You got to give him spotty minutes to just give us 8 points straight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. 6
points straight.
I agree with you.
10 points straight. Because the slow start is you cannot keep going forward with the slow start. You can't depend on your second unit. If that's the case, you put in Derrick Rose, but we don't know what we're gonna get at the second unit. We got to come with some kind of game plan that makes sense for everybody to excel in. That's how I look at it.
All right. Yeah, all good points, man. All good points.
No, excellent points.
Yeah,
excellent
man.
Points.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, man. I'm expounding on that point.
All right, yo, have a good show, guys.
All right.
Thanks, my brother.
All right, salute, Reed. My guy, Reed from Flatbush. Shout out to Reed from Flatbush. He's calling.
Flatbush.
Yeah, man. And listen, it's funny because I saw Tom Thibodeau. He had a press conference about a few days ago, and they asked him, "Hey, man, the starting five, they're struggling." are you going to make a change to the starting unit? And he goes, no, I'm not changing. I'm not making a change to the starting unit. But I have the right to change my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that answer, Tom. I like that answer.
That's right.
So he's it's in the back of his mind. If he keeps seeing these slow starts, he's gonna be thinking about mixing and matching. Trust.
That's right.
Trust.
That's what he said. He actually said maybe we'll mix and match. He said stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's thinking about it, man. He just don't want Berman to have a headline.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I know we talking about McBride and stuff. Like the way he's using Burks in the fourth quarter, and I know we talking about IQ. I feel like if it's not IQ, it could be Burks. I feel like it could be Burks. Like even as a point guard.
I thought that too. I've been saying that. I actually said that on my channel. I thought that Burks might be the guy to start because first of all, to me, the biggest reason is that I know Thibs loves him and trusts him.
Right.
And that's important. So the second thing is, dude is clutch, man.
Exactly. Okay.
Dude is clutch.
So we on the same. Yeah. All right.
Dude is clutch, man.
Yeah.
I've been telling people all along, like people like we got to trade Burks or he's here for trade. I said y'all don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Burks is a playoff dude, man. He's a playoff dude.
Yeah, he's a playoff dude, man. And
that's why you see him coming up clutch in the fourth quarter. He's a playoff player, man.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see what he's doing with because he's always been moved around mid-season because he's always been in a good contract, and then you see him traded on this team and that team and two teams in 1 year. Having a coach, it seems like having a coach who has a set role for him and he already knows what's expected. It's really helping his game because
that's right.
Like his defense is better than I don't think I've ever seen it, and he's hitting clutch shot to clutch shot.
He was reminding me of Utah, Alec Burks. That's where he spent.
Yeah.
That's where he spent most of his best years in Utah.
That used to kill us and everybody.
Yep. Exactly. That's right. I used to be confused between him and Trey because it was one of them Burks always killing us, and it was him.
Yep, for sure. But yo, salute to that. We got another caller in the queue lined up. Salute to the chat, man. Shout out to Rich Jim D, Nice, Kareem Grant, and everybody else who's rocking with the KOT show. If you're loving the show so far, please hit that like and subscribe button. Oh, I see you two agents, Super Argo. Shout out to Agent Super Argo too, who's really active on in the chats and in the comment section. All right, next caller up. Get ready. I'm about to patch you through. I can't see you right now, but I'm gonna click you over and you let us know. You just let us know what your name is and where you from and what your point is.
What's going on, guys? This is Ron from Still Knicks Fans.
Oh, what's going on, Ron
Hi.
from Still Knicks, man? Shout out to Ron, man.
What's happening, guys? I'm just really excited to call in and talk to you guys. You don't understand, man. I've been waiting for the opportunity, and it just seemed like the best possible night. Not too much traffic. I said, let me jump on, man. 'Cause Jay Ellis, I just want you to know, brother. I've spoken to you one time in the past, which I'm not going to get into. But
Okay.
it had nothing to do with you. Nothing wrong. I'm just saying, like, it was on a different show. You know what I mean?
Oh, got you.
But yeah. But but I'm happy for you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You know, I appreciate your content, and you know, now that I'm in this podcast game, I want to let you know that you. I always said it. It was watching you and watching Sim on Nothing But Knicks is part of the reason why I decided to do this. So,
oh man,
just
appreciate
let you know that you're an inspiration.
Oh man, that's crazy. Thank you,
You're
man.
the artist, my man. The artist. That's the artist right there.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and raw Hebrew, you know, I'm always commenting on your stuff, bro. You do great work, and you give me not only you break down my Knicks, but you give me some inspiration. So I appreciate that.
Appreciate that, brother.
Appreciate that. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Thanks for calling.
Yeah,
in,
man. So
oh, go ahead.
yeah, no problem, man. But I just wanted to say, like, tonight's game, man, this was rough. I was in a fetal position watching the game. My son was doing some work next to me. I had one eye on him and one eye on the screen. I was like, man, this is rough.
Yeah.
They could have lost the game if Burks didn't come up like he did. We'd have lost the game.
Yeah, I was prepared to talk about a loss tonight. I'm not gonna lie, especially the second unit only scored 10 points in the first half, and that's unsecond unit like, you know.
That's right.
So I was
right.
I didn't know what was gonna happen in the second half of this game.
But they scored
I
45
wanted to ask
tonight,
you,
so they did good.
Yeah, they did. Well, the bench is solid, man. The bench is real. That's why I was saying before, going forward with everything we've been going through, I think the first unit just needs to play through Julius Randle. Let Randle make a decision. Hopefully he makes a smart one quickly before the double team engulfs him. Get that ball moved around. and worry about the points that way with the starting unit. And then the bench, that's when the ball movement and the sweep play comes in, but let them do their own thing. Tale of two cities, man. We'll win games because right now the bench has been giving us everything, and we haven't been getting anything from the starting unit. So tonight was a lot better. We saw something. So I just wanted to leave you guys with one thing. What do you guys think about the Knicks in the next 5 games or so? Because my opinion, I think the Knicks are so weird. Like, we look at how bad they play, but I bet you tomorrow it's an incredible performance by the Knicks. Whether they win or not, I don't know. But I think the game will be definitely close, and they'll have a chance to win. But I just think they get up for the better competition. So I expect them to actually do pretty good in these next 5 games. I want to know what you guys think, and I'll leave you guys with that.
No, that's a good point, because the Knicks seem to play to the competition.
Yeah. Now I saw
They do.
I saw a stat that said I saw a stat that says we have like a winning record against all the good teams. I think we're like 5-2 against the good teams and a losing record.
Don't put them on national television because they're going to win.
Exactly. Exactly.
You put the Knicks on national TV, they winning, man.
Right.
Wait, is tomorrow's game on national TV? Let me see. Is it? No, it's on League Pass. It's on League Pass.
Okay.
No, but the game against the Lakers is national TV. I bet you they play good against the Lakers. And it's at the Garden. That's the game we need to break out right there.
Yeah, I think so too. And I expect a good game against the Bulls, even though it's a back-to-back. And I'm not sure if we're going to win that one or not, but I do expect a good game against the Bulls. The Suns, man, I'm scared of the Suns. I'm scared of the Suns.
Yeah, you're right.
I am scared of them.
We play the ATL in Atlanta next Saturday night.
That's the game I think it'll be up for. Like, it depends, but I'm looking at the minutes distribution because we're going from the Suns to the Hawks the next game. But I expect the Knicks to be up for that.
That's a back-to-back, right?
Yeah, it's a back-to-back. That's a back-to-back. I wish it wasn't a back-to-back, though.
One of them, they're going to have to sit Walker for one of them two.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't see them playing him both of those games. In fact, I don't expect Walker tomorrow. I'm wondering what's going to happen tomorrow.
Oh, that's right, because they've been sitting him on back-to-backs.
Yeah, so I'm thinking tomorrow we got to have I really want IQ in the starting lineup, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to take D Rose off that second unit. I think he's going to go off tomorrow in Chicago.
Absolutely.
You have IQ in the starting unit and let Bob Deep come in there together, man. We're going to be in good shape.
Right. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Rose started tomorrow because when we sat Kemba before against the Cavs, Rose started on the back-to-back.
And we lost.
Yeah.
And we lost.
So I expect to see Rose starting tomorrow, and probably more Alec Burks playing the lead guard tomorrow with the second unit, and then
you're probably right.
Flip-flopping the minutes that way. I think I'm gonna see a lot more of that. Yeah.
I don't like Rose as the starting unit though. Yeah, I want to see. Well, Deuce is on the bench tonight.
Yeah.
So I hope we see a little Deuce, man, because that might be a nice game to show him 3-4 minutes at least.
Something, man. Shoot, it's ridiculous, man. This kid, I'm telling you, to me, he's the type of player, like, if he was on another team and getting that regular rotation minutes like he would on another team, man, he'd be going off, man. He'd be going off. Him and Obi, I'm just frustrated watching them because they're not getting what they need to get, and they would help us win ball games.
No, absolutely, man. Like I said, there's a few players on this team that I feel like have that killer instinct, and a lot of those players aren't even playing yet. McBride is one of them. I said Quickly earlier, even when Quickly was struggling, I felt like Quickly has like a leadership killer instinct type of gene where I feel like he can actually lead a team. And also even Grimes sometimes shows a little bit of it.
I'm in with some Grimes, man. Yo. He's another one.
Right. And RJ is another subject. I think we could talk about that because that's been an interesting subject around Knicks Nation as well. But we can segue into that. But even RJ, I feel like, has that it factor where he's not scared and he has a work ethic. He just has to put it all together to me.
They was killing RJ today. They was hammering him left and right. He just wasn't getting no calls.
Yeah, I feel with you. But
he didn't shoot that great either. But
Absolutely. But we can talk about RJ right now, though. We can do that.
Hey, let me ask you. RJ was not on the floor in the fourth quarter, was he?
No, he was not. No, he was not.
You had Noel, you had Rose, Burks, Quickly, and Randle.
Yeah, and this was the game to sit him. Like, this was the game to sit him. Evan Fournier had a hot hand. In the first half. If he's going to sit RJ, this was the game to sit. It wasn't like he's been.
That's right. You put Noel in there instead of RJ. That's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you know what Quickly was doing in the fourth quarter. He's doing his Quickly things. And Alec Burks has been a flamethrower in the fourth quarter for these last few games. So RJ sitting in the fourth quarter. It was time to sit him. This is his day to sit.
Well, the one positive I will say in the starting unit, 4 out of the 5 starters were plus. RJ was the only negative. He was -2, and he was only -2. But Julius was +2, Robinson +5, Kemba +5, and Fournier +7. And then on the second unit, you could see who I don't have to tell you who was negative without even. You could tell you who was negative already. It was Rose, right? I mean, you know that already. He played
Rose
a terrible game today.
Again,
so you knew he was negative, and he had, they only had him listed with 1 turnover. It seemed like he threw the ball away more than that, but there was 1 turnover for him. But everybody else was positive. Quick +11, Noel +6, Toppin +5. That's what you normally getting from them. That's what you normally get.
Yeah, absolutely. Ron, thank you for the call, man. Thanks for calling in, man. You're always welcome to call back to the show, of course.
Yo, man, I appreciate you guys. Keep doing the work y'all doing. Great content. You guys are 2 of the best, so appreciate you guys. Take it easy.
Appreciate
All
that.
right, man,
Good luck with your stuff, man.
Facts.
Appreciate that.
Facts, man.
Take care.
Yeah. Anybody knows, man, this is a grind.
This is a grind.
This is a grind. But back to RJ. RJ on the night, 11 points, 4 of 13 from the field, shot 30%, 1 of 5 from 3, 20% from 3. After like a really fast start, he seems to still be in a little bit of a rut.
I'm not worried about him though. He'll be all right. Let's just say, man, he did the same thing last year. He's gonna come on strong. I'm not worried about RJ. I was surprised he was started the year so hot. I knew he was going to arrive, but man, he started off burning hot.
Yeah, this is why every time I always had an asterisk when I had talked about him because it's like you gotta have like if he would have sustained what he was doing during that 20-point per game stretch, I would have been ecstatic, and I still feel like he'll be.
He's gonna be fine. What's he averaging?
Like
17? He's averaging 17. What's he averaging? He's averaging 16 right now.
He's averaging 16 right now. Okay.
Yeah, he'll be back. I'm not worried about him, man. He'll be back.
I just need that shot to fall. I just need the open shots to fall.
Yep.
And it's just, and you know what too? I wonder if you put any of these players in with the second unit, I wonder how they would fare. Because how they would fare. Like if you put RJ in with the second unit, right? Like, because RJ, what happens is a lot of times RJ would be the only one running. And, RJ is a guy who thrives in transition. So if you put RJ in with the second unit, those guys run all the time. I feel like the fast break points would go up. I feel like the assists would go up. I feel like his game is more, suited for more of a transition game. Like, even when he was going off. No, I agree
with you. Somebody mentioned, Jim Rich mentioned that he probably took RJ out because he's going to play him 40 minutes tomorrow, which means you'll probably see him with the second unit. He's going to start and play with the second unit. That's what's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, we will see, man. Yeah, we will see. I'll see. I don't know, yo. I don't think even Tom knows what he's going to be doing the next day. I'm not going to hold you. I feel like I don't even think he
kind of plays it by ear, right?
Yeah, he doesn't think about they played 8 minutes yet. He does not think like that. Like
you're right. I you know what? You're right, JL. He don't think like that.
If RJ had a hot game today instead of Fournier, RJ would have been the one ending.
That's right.
Closing the quarter, not Fournier.
You're right. I ain't gonna front. You're right. And then he'd still do the same thing tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yo, salute to Delano. He says salute to everyone in the chat and salute to JLS and Raw Hurry, bro. Shout out to my guy.
Yeah. Somebody gave you a super chat.
I see Bing Bongs in the chat. Here we go with the Bing Bongs, man. I need to have more Bing Bongs from our Twitter page than the opposing team's Twitter page, because that I don't need. Yeah, let's keep the Bing Bongs more on our side. All right. I can't stand seeing another team tweet Bing Bong at us. That is annoying as hell. All right. Shout out to CL Kenrick, I'm sorry, since the $2 super chat says KOT Raw Hebrew was good, much needed to win. Thank you, shout out to you, super chat, man. If you don't know, the super chat helps keep the lights on, keeps the phones going, and keeps everything moving. So any super chat is welcomed. And even if you can't do super chat, you don't have the bread, like, subscribe, and share is always gonna help the KOT show grow, so you can do that as well. All right. Yeah, I feel like I talked about most things I want to talk about. Only thing I want to big up, Listen, we lost. I'm concerned that we lost Mitch to an injury in the face. It was a physical
He
game.
He broke his nose, man. Players play with broken noses, man. He broke his nose.
Oh, so it came out that he officially broke his nose?
No, it didn't. I saw it. The dude bowled and right in his nose. And you know when they break your nose, they put these two things up in your nose. And they did that. They put these two things, the stents, up in his nose.
Gotcha.
He'll play tomorrow with a mask.
Right. But shout out to Mitch. Mitch was he was a +5. I feel like he was the only net positive in that first half out of that first unit. So shout out to Mitch, who was a +5.
Mitch was holding it down, man.
Right.
He's been doing that for a minute though. So and they called some dumb fouls on him too, but he was holding it down. And what he does defensively, in terms of intimidation, doesn't show up on the stat sheet.
Right, it definitely doesn't. I think he had 2 blocks on the day too.
Yeah,
Two
but he was
blocks,
being an
5
intimidator
rebounds.
in there, man. He really does dictate the game. And I like he snapped. Who is it? I forgot who. I think it was Christian Wood. He was playing against somebody, and he just snatched it right out there. He just took it. He said, "Give me that ball."
Yeah, man. I love Mitch, and Mitch be flexing after everything.
Yo,
Mitch be like, foul on Mitch. He be like, foul. And they just looks at his muscles like, foul.
Yep.
I'll be dying in my living room.
Yeah, man. I'd be surprised if he didn't play tomorrow. I think he's going to play with he'll have the mask on and he'll play tomorrow.
Right, exactly. But I really want to shout out Noel. The Nerlens Noel, man, once again.
Yo, homie got cracked in his jaw. Like, I mean, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Everybody got cracked in the jaw. If you didn't get cracked in the jaw today, then I don't know if he's playing hard enough. I don't know because
homie took the shot and then just winged his left elbow and caught him like a boxer, man. And I was like, oh, shoot, he got – first I didn't see him down. I said, what you laying down? Get up. Then they showed the replay, and I was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah,
he
I was
got cracked
afraid.
in his jaw. But he came – because it took him a minute to get up now.
Oh, yeah. I was afraid we was going to have a center for this game and tomorrow because I'm like, we're running out of centers. Taj just sat out. It was
we still got Jericho. We still got Jericho.
We definitely still got Jericho.
We got Jericho over there.
And I guess it would have forced Obi to play some more minutes. But I was worried for a minute. But shout out to Noel because the hustle of Noel, the play that really stood out to me from Noel, and you already know Noel does though. He blocks the shots out of the air. But the play that really stood out, I think it was the fourth quarter when the Knicks turned the ball over and it was the Rockets were in a fast break and Noel poked the ball away from behind.
Yeah. He came from behind.
Yeah, and I was just like, man.
That dude, he was hustling, man. He came from behind, poked away, stopped the fast break, man. And that block, who was that block on?
Was it on the dude who was giving us problems? The rookie.
That dude Tate.
Oh, Tate. Yes.
Cause Tate the one bowled Mitch in the face. Yeah, he was a little roughneck, man. He came up for some mess and he got by D Rose, but nah.
Yeah. You caught Tate.
My man said nah. And I love how him and Robinson block shots. They keep the ball in play.
Absolutely. They don't do the block shots for the theatrics.
Into the stand. Yeah, they keep the ball in play. Yeah. And it goes the other way, man. It was beautiful. He had 3 blocks today and Mitch had 2.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, what I don't like about a lot of block shots, to me, when I see a dude getting a lot of block shots, it means he's protecting the paint because you don't have no defense at the point of attack. I'd rather them just intimidate like Mitch does because they're getting good defense at the point of attack. And then when they do get a dude in, it's just him and Mitch like it was with Sengun. Sengun came up with he was going to try to dunk on Mitch.
Yeah, he said, no.
Oh, what you doing? And he laid out. I was like, nah, bro, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, they almost beat us with Segu though, cause man, I'm not gonna lie, Segu. When Segu started posting Noel in the fourth, and then he started passing out to shooters, I was like, we in trouble.
Yo, that young boy got moves down low. He got moves down low. Man.
Yeah, man. Like I couldn't believe it, but our defense rotated really well, and we kept up. And Alec Burks finished it off. Shout out to Alec Burks, man. Mr. Fourth Quarter clutch. He's proven after being torched by Knicks Nation on Twitter for like 2 weeks.
Yo,
I'm convinced whoever we talk smack about is gonna have the next. Like every player that we talk smack about, I've heard smack about Noel. He ended up playing well. I heard smack about Alec Burks. All of a sudden, he's like the best player you ever seen in your life for like a whole week straight.
People
were talking about quickly for a while.
Trade Kemba, he's gonna get 40 tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Trade Kemba. You're washed. Exactly.
You washed him.
You washed. Yeah. Oh my, your knees are. Yeah.
Your knees are done. You too little.
Kemba dropping 50 tomorrow.
He dropped 50 tomorrow.
50 tomorrow.
Oh man. No, but for real, somebody, I don't know who said that. You said it. Somebody else did. I'm still concerned about tomorrow's game. Chicago is playing ball. But the Knicks do play at the level of the competition. They do.
Exactly.
Which is not good, but they do. So maybe I don't want to get my hopes up. I'll be very happy if we start AB tomorrow. I'll be very hopeful if that was the case. Hope he does. But I saw somebody say that, like in practice, the first unit wears blue, the second unit I think wears gray, and the bench players wear green. And they had Alec Burks was wearing blue the last practice. He was running with the first unit. So that's why I thought maybe that they're going to sit Kemba tonight, and start Burks, but maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's tomorrow. Yeah,
I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah, because they got to travel to Chicago. It'll be a good time to rest Kemba, and we got Lakers on Tuesday night. So, I would be very happy if we start Alec Burks, because I don't think if you can move Grimes into the second unit, we're not going to miss a beat.
I agree with you. I
don't think so.
And it's funny, before we even made all these moves in the offseason, I wasn't super worried about having a point guard because I saw that we had Grimes, and I felt like quickly might take a step. So I was I was cool at the beginning of the season with the moves we made before Kemba, but obviously when we got Kemba, I was excited, and now I'm like a little bit weary again. But
well, my worry is not for Kemba; it's for how Tom is trusting in Kemba. That's my problem. If Tom, was going to sit him, I would be tremendously happy. But
he's sitting him though. He's sitting him. He's been sitting. He's getting Evan, like he's been sitting him in the fourth quarter for the last few games.
No, yeah, but I'm saying like if you sat him in the first quarter, we wouldn't be 21-13.
Right. But
that's all I'm saying.
You can't be
21-13.
I feel you. You can't get an acquisition like Kemba and sit him in the first quarter after 10 games. That's
you're not paying him nothing. You're paying him $8 million for 2 seasons, man. It's 2 seasons. He's basically a long-term rental.
I feel you, Ro, but that's just bad for business, man. You can't
I hear you. Oh, politically, yes, I agree with you.
That's bad for business.
Politically speaking, yes, I agree with you.
It's bad for business. You gotta give him every chance to fail, so you can have a mountain of evidence to go. Look. And then if he has a hot hand, you ride him a little bit longer, and then when the hot hand cools off, you put in McBride, you put in Alec Burks. You do it that way. And that's the way we gotta do it. And I see you, caller, in the chat. I see you patiently waiting. I know me and Roy kind of got off on a tangent on some Knicks basketball talk, but it happens sometimes. But salute to the chat, man. Thanks for rocking with the show. If you like the show so far, please hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back tomorrow. I know Ryan will be back. I'm not sure if Roy will be back tomorrow, but I'll be back tomorrow versus the Chicago Bulls at 8 o'clock. After every game, we're going to be right here talking Knicks, all right? So definitely check us out.
That's right.
And like and subscribe to our channel, all right? Next caller up. Click this button. Let us know what your name is and where you're from and what do you want to talk about, sir.
What's going on? It's Delano calling. You know what I'm saying?
Delano,
what up, Delano? Delano, bunch shots for Delano's calling in, man.
Long time listener, first time caller on this channel.
Yeah, man. Big moment. The double gunshots for that.
Nah, man. I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody enjoyed the game as much as they could. Looked like it was definitely playing jailhouse rules, no blood, no foul.
That's a fact.
Because I swear it was like it was knockout, drag out for real.
except they call that ticky tack crack on Noel and Mitch. I was like, what the heck? You gonna let him play or not? Or don't you? You know what I'm saying? It's over like, dag, man, be consistent.
Yeah, I'll tell you what thing though. I'm gonna see if that reverse works, because I was just questioning whether or not Evan Fournier was a good fit for the Knicks. Not that he was a bad player, but just not a good fit for the Knicks specifically culture-wise, right? And then he comes out and he has a good game. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start calling out plays and be like, you know what? Maybe he don't work for this team. And see if somehow that translates to more wins, because, man, that was crazy today, you know. And it was a knuckle drag. So, I mean, I appreciate the fact that, you know what I'm saying, we dug down. Alec Burks came through and proved exactly why we chose him over Reggie Bullock overall. That defensive intensity was lacking in the first few games from Burks, so I'm glad he got his swagger back.
Facts.
IQ clearly has been taking strides, and I think that I really think they're grooming him to be the next starting point guard. The way it's looking right now, they are putting a lot of trust in him. The only thing I feel like I don't like about that is him and Obi have such great chemistry on that court.
Yeah, man.
The last thing I want is for that to be disrupted. But you know, overall, I enjoyed the fact that we walked out of MSG with a win. It was much needed. And you know what I'm saying? Y'all keep rocking, man. I'm going to keep tuning in. And you know what I'm saying? Much love to y'all.
All right. That's what's up.
Delano, thanks, my brother.
Salute.
No doubt.
Salute. Gunshots, man. It's for Delano, man. First time calling in. Man, Delano been rocking with KOT for dumb long, but
yeah, man. It's like for real.
See, this is what happens when you got phone calls now. People can call in, and people who've been watching they actually call now. So
okay.
Good decision. All right. Yeah, man. Quickly. That's one of the things I'm always going to be hyped about, because I still remember last year where I was saying he wasn't a true point guard. And I was like, give this kid a chance.
I still don't think he's a point guard, but he's a basketball player.
Right. But
he's
he can
a real
make plays.
Good basketball player.
He can make plays.
Makes plays. He can. He's a real good basketball. Some guys are pure point guards and some guys are pure shooters. He's neither. He's just a basketball player. He's a guard, put it that way. You know. Yeah. That's what he is. So he'll help us win, man. He'll help us win some games. Right.
Like I think for me, what people was trying to say, he's a strictly Lou Williams and scoring off the. And I'm like, I think he can do a little. Like, we don't know. I'm not saying he's not or not, but it's too early to tell in year one. And I showed some stats before when he's like 91st percentile in assist percentage, and you know that's not a gunner. That's a guy who's been passing a great deal.
Yeah. Remember now, he's only in his second year, so.
Exactly.
He's very good, man. No, I would not mind. You see, to me, quickly, AB, I don't care which one. I want one of them in the starting lineup, though. I mean, don't care which one.
I agree. Shoot, Rose too. Any of those guys. I feel like any of those guys.
Well, to me, I'd rather really keep Rose with the second unit. To me, him and Obi, man, they just work really well together. But, and also, if you're going to see, I don't see Tom sitting Kemba for more than just the fourth quarter. So he would probably put Kemba in the second unit if he wasn't starting him, which means you cannot have Rose and Kemba on it. You got to have one.
Yeah, you got to separate them.
That defense is horrible. So you got to have Rose starting if you're going to sit. If Kemba's in the second unit. So
don't sleep on Rose's defense now. I don't know what his numbers are, but I feel like
he's not the type to make up the slack for a guy like Kemba.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what Rose's numbers are, but I feel like he's having like a career high in block shots per game. Like
he's definitely, but he has given up the lane a number of times. I've seen him. I mean, but it's not like he's not trying. You can see he's out there putting his all, but you can't have him next to a really weak defender.
Nah,
that's not going to work. I mean, he plays next to what? AB, IQ, and Obi. They play defense.
Yeah.
So you can't put him next to a guy that doesn't play any. It's not going to work well. Actually, I saw that game. I saw that movie before. That's when they first had D Rose with KP and Melo.
Right. But I don't even count that. Because
they didn't utilize him well at all. That's what I'm saying. So
his defense now on the Knicks today is way better than it was when
Oh yeah, no, he's gotten better.
when it was with Melo and KP. Like that's.
But
it's
remember
night and
now,
day.
since he left the Knicks, then he's been on second units the whole time.
Right, exactly. So I don't even.
So I think so that's why I kind of like him in the second unit. I don't like him start. Honestly, I'll be honest. He's a good soldier. I don't think he wants to start.
I don't think he wants to start either. I don't think he wants to have.
I think he wants to keep coming off the second unit, and I hear that. So if you take Kemba out, then Kemba's got to sit, next to Jericho because he's gonna put somebody in the second unit that can play, man.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'll take any one of Alec Burks, Rose, or I'll take any one of them in the first unit because I feel like I do feel like I said, the movement thing. No,
I agree.
The movement, the off-ball movement with Evan Fournier and IQ, and because RJ can move without the ball too. When he hasn't done it as much with his first unit.
Well, he did it tonight. Remember that he cut to the basket. I think it was Fournier caught him under the basket. And he got a layup. So he does move without the basketball. It's just if Julius has the ball, I think he's discouraged. He just doesn't think he's going to get it.
Right. Exactly.
Because I'm saying a couple of times he's capping for the ball.
Right.
And Julius ain't giving it to him, so he might be like, I ain't getting it if I move with this cat. But Fournier had it in the corner, and he cut, and he got the ball.
Right. But I can see IQ doing it. I can see IQ starting with us, and I also can see Alec Burks, doing a good job because the defense is doing pretty well, and I think he'll be able to play off Randle as well. So I'm good for anybody. I'm good for anybody really. And we got another caller.
I don't think Kemba Walker's starting at point guard next season.
We'll see.
I don't think he's only on a 2-year deal. I don't think he's starting at point guard next season because you got to figure IQ and Deuce and Grimes, they're all going to grow, as players. So I don't think they sit next season, all of them. Just like Obi. Like Obi sat a lot last season, and he's playing a lot more this season.
Yeah, it really depends on the depth. It really depends on the depth. But I hope to really see some more McBride and Grimes moving forward, especially more towards the end of the season, maybe even more next season. I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, we got one more call in chat. After this call, we're gonna wrap it up.
All right.
So caller, I'm gonna patch you in. Let us know your name, where you from, and what do you want to talk about.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen. This is Craig Ward. I'm in Raw's neck of the woods, D.C., but originally from New York.
All right.
How you doing, Jay Ellis and Raw Hebrew, as
What's
they would
up?
say, Raw the metaphor. Always appreciate the content, and I love the way how you analyze the games. You bring out very interesting points. I check in on your channel on a daily. I even realized, I think I almost got it down to a science, like around 9 o'clock in the morning is when you put your work in. And
I signed into my job. Then I said, okay, let me do my next thing.
Right. So, it's like my alarm clock. I need to set my alarm because that way I can get in as soon as you put your work in. So, and I always appreciate it. Jay Ellis, I've been rocking with you from the beginning, so it's always love, my man.
Salute, Craig.
Here's my thing. With the starting five, I got a feeling, I really am not too against it, but I think their time needs to be shortened up because if they starting off as slow as they did, 13 points, man, in 12 minutes of game, that's ridiculous. If Tom Thibodeau sees that nobody is putting in the work, pull them out, sit them down, start putting the bench in. Let them realize, you know what? If I'm going to stay on the court, I got to put in my work. If you out there putting in work, you get to run. No work, sit down.
Yeah.
And I love the second squad. I love the way how that chemistry, they fit. They're the best in the NBA right now. So really, you don't want to disturb the groove, to a sense. And I have a feeling if you take, mess up some of that chemistry by pulling one of those guys out, like Quickly or Rose, and put them in with the starting lineup, it's going to throw off the whole thing that they got going on.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying.
No,
because
for real.
like when Kemba, if Kemba, you give him the first 7 to 8 minutes and he's hot, keep him in.
And the way how they was moving was finally good to see Fournier finally trying to, get the webs out of his guns right now, so he can shoot, and it's a clear shot when he's open. Disappointed when he was like wide open by himself and he throwing up air balls. That's time. Tom hit the whistle. I'm gonna just sit down, Fournier. We're gonna kick in somebody else.
Yep.
Take your spot. And I did hear a report on YouTube where he was saying during the practice that during a meeting or interview that they haven't been practicing lately. So I'm thinking, is that the reason why they're in this slump? Because they're not practicing? Tom is like going over films and letting them learn that way rather than to, keep them moving, keep them, having schemes going out, and also try some new schemes, that the pick and roll is not always there. In fact, it hits like, 10% of the times? The other teams are looking at that, and they got our number. We got to switch it up. We can't keep doing the same thing repeatedly, like we're becoming predictable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And all good points. I kind of like everything you've mentioned. I've mentioned before. Like the practice time, right? The games have been coming kind of fast. And I know a lot, like last week, there's been a lot of games where it's been like away. So I knew once we got back home for that home stand that there was gonna be a practice that we would probably see a different team and better offense. And we saw it for like a game. We saw it for a game. So I definitely feel like more practice time is going to help. More offensive sets that are less predictable is going to help because we're going to need more offense run through Kemba or run through Evan Fournier and not just Randle to be successful. And I think more practicing that is going to help as well. So, correct on all points. Also, easing the short whistle. I've been saying that too. Like we definitely need shorter whistles, keeping this first unit on a shorter leash when they're messing up because they're not as reliable yet. Since the second unit is the more reliable bunch, if the first unit is messing up, pull them quicker. And Tom has been doing that for the most part over the last 3 or 4 games, with the exception of today in the first quarter. And if he keeps going with that, pattern, I'm with it. It seems like he's changing the way he's thinking and the way he's coaching, and I'm hopeful that that's what keeps happening.
Well, I appreciate y'all taking my call. I'm gonna let you close out, and as always, blessings.
All right.
Blessings, brother.
Blessings, man. Salute to you guys. All right, man. All right. That is our show. Shout out to everybody who's rocking with the show. If you like the show, please hit that like.
We had 141 in there, man.
141 in the chat on a Saturday. I be liking the Saturday, Sunday shows be lit. 141.
Okay.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday shows be lit. Shout out to the crowd. If it's your first time, hit that hashtag new. If you like the show, please hit that like and subscribe button. We doing a show after every game. All right, every game we're doing a show. Thanksgiving, I'm doing a show. I'm doing the show. All right. So I'm gonna let you know. Be here after every.
There's no game on Thanksgiving.
Is there a game? Okay, Thanksgiving.
No, it's Friday. It's Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay.
Yeah, it's Friday.
What game did I see? I saw a game on New Year's Eve at 8. I was like, oh, y'all really did that to us, huh?
Did they?
Yeah, New Year's Eve at 8. There's a show on New Year's Eve at 8.
No. They got a game Tuesday against the Lakers, and then the next game is Friday against Phoenix.
Right, yeah.
And that's a back-to-back because on Saturday they fly to Atlanta.
Exactly, yeah. So we got back-to-backs. But we're going to be here after every game talking about these Knicks, all right? Shout out to Kareem Grant, shout out to George Jones, shout out to Winston Ellis, shout out to Myth Thibs, Philip Ross. I saw my guy Eric Nuggy Fresh in the building. I saw Make Knicks Great Again. I saw him here earlier. I forgot to shout him out because I missed the conversation, but shout out to you, my Instagram Knicks people. Shout out to you guys, all right? Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. But yeah, that is our show, Raw. Let them know where they can find you, sir.
Really, Raw Hebrew Remnant on YouTube, Raw Hebrew Remnant on Twitter, the two best places that you can find me. Although I'm also on Patreon, Raw Hebrew Remnant repping there. I had the Rumble thing going, but I really have been slacking off on that channel, so I don't know what's going on there. But these are the places you can catch me. I'm not a big Instagram guy. I don't see the point yet, so I'm just not doing Instagram.
Got you. Well, I'm on Instagram. I'm trying to get to those 10Ks. So definitely follow the KOT, the Nick of Time Show on Instagram. I have a bruh pick. Shout out to my guy, Ryan G. My bruh pick today. Yo, did you see Amadou Diallo? If you don't know what a bruh pick is, your first time watching the program, the bruh pick
No,
is...
what do you do?
Bruh picks are the worst plays of the week.
Amadou Diallo do?
Yeah. Amadou Diallo was all alone for a layup on a fast break. And he took 2 steps, and then I think he tripped over himself. And then ended up blowing the layup on a fast break.
That's painful.
Yeah. Yes. He gets the bruh pick for this week, man.
He gets the bruh pick for this day.
I almost want to give Nerlens Noel. He had a great game, but him a bruh pick for getting a flagrant foul for the first 3 seconds of the game after you've been sitting for.
And he didn't do anything. What did he do? I mean, he tripped dude. That was flagrant.
Yeah.
He looked like he purposely tripped dude.
Yeah, he purposely tripped him. I was
he purposely tripped dude.
What's happening? What's happening right there?
But he also gets the ooh for that block.
Yeah, he definitely gets the gunshots. He definitely gets the ooh for that block. Shout out to my guy.
Yeah, that block gets the ooh, man. Ooh.
That's a fact. All right, JT Redick, I see you. Shout out to JT Redick. But you already know you can find us. You can find us at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Nick of Time Show on Instagram. You can find us at thenickoftimeshow.com. You can find our blog contest. Shout out to Ken, who wrote a nice article about how to turn around the Knicks, and that's on thenickoftimeshow.com. Also, you get these KOT snapbacks there as well in blue and orange and in black and white. All right. But yeah, that is our show. Thanks for rocking with us. And as always,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here, all right? That is our show. We are out of here.
Deuces.